My precious child, it is I, your heavenly Father, who speaks now into the deepest chambers of your spirit. From the very instant your heart first turned toward me in genuine hunger, from that moment a sacred and silent machinery was activated across the expanse of the heavens on your behalf. A divine convergence was initiated, one that operates not with noise and fanfare, but with the profound and purposeful quiet of eternal intent. You have felt the stirrings, the subtle shifts in the atmosphere of your life, yet you have not fully comprehended their immense significance. You are standing at the precipice of a monumental transition, a shift in the very fabric of your destiny that has been ordained since before time began. A great and mighty spiritual gate, one that has remained sealed for generations, is now creaking open on its heavenly hinges specifically for you this very night, and the winds of my unparalleled favor have been dispatched from my throne room. They are not merely blowing near you, they are circling your name, carving out a space of miraculous possibility in the spiritual realm where nothing can hinder what I am about to do. You remain unaware, my child, of the sheer gravity and seriousness of this communication. This is not a casual promise or a vague blessing. This is a decree that has echoed through the corridors of eternity and is now manifesting in your timeline. Behind the thin veil that separates your reality from the reality of the spirit, a colossal and awe-inspiring activity is underway. Angelic hosts have been marshaled, principalities and powers are being served notice, and the ancient scriptures concerning your life are being fulfilled in a single breathtaking moment. You have no earthly idea that tonight, at the precise moment of 9 p.m., a supernatural event of staggering proportions is scheduled to occur. In a chamber untouched by time, a scroll of unimaginable import is being unrolled. This is not a scroll of parchment and ink, but of spirit and light, and upon its luminous surface, your name is being inscribed by a divine hand. This inscription is not symbolic. It is a legal, binding transaction in the courts of heaven, authorizing a divine transfer of wealth totaling $55 million into your hands. This wealth is not merely currency. It is a resource, a tool, a testament of my glory, and a means to establish my covenant in the earth realm. This specific number, 55 million, is not a random figure given to tantalize or tease your natural mind. It is a precise, calculated amount determined by my infinite wisdom to complete a specific purpose in your life and for my kingdom. It is the exact sum required to cancel every debt, to fund every vision I have planned in your heart, to silence every mocking voice, and to create a legacy of righteousness for generations to come. This decree is written in the annals of heaven. It is sealed with the authority of the blood of the Lamb, and it is protected by an entire heavenly order. No power in hell, no scheme of man, no failure of the economy can reverse what has been written and sealed. It carries the full weight of my glory and the irrevocable nature of my word. But you, my beloved, must now listen with a spirit of acute obedience and unwavering faith. This is the critical juncture where your free will engages with my sovereign plan. The mighty Archangel Michael, the commander of my armies, the great prince who stands guard over my people, has personally interceded in this matter. He has stood in the counsel of the Lord and delivered a message of utmost urgency. He declares that this is your final window, your ultimate moment of opportunity. The alignment is perfect, the path is clear, but the opposition is fierce and aware. One misstep, one act of doubt, one moment of disobedience, one choice made in fear instead of faith, and the colossal wealth that is even now supernaturally seeking you out will be diverted. It will not vanish, but it will fall into the hands of your spiritual enemies, those who have positioned themselves to plunder your inheritance. They will use the resources meant for your liberation to further their own dark agendas and to fuel their warfare against you. This is not a threat from me. It is a stark warning from the front lines of a battle you cannot see. I am not a God who seeks to terrify his children into submission. I am your Father, and I am revealing to you what has already been set in motion in the spirit realm so that you can be empowered to partner with me. I am pulling back the curtain so you can understand the intensity of the conflict surrounding your breakthrough. There are individuals, fueled by envy and wickedness, who have been engaged in spiritual warfare against you. They have fasted not in humility and repentance, but in a perverse ritual of binding and hindering your progress. Their prayers are not petitions to me, but incantations meant to build walls around your life. Specifically, there is a woman, someone close enough to know the contours of your dreams and the whispers of your potential, who 2 days ago sought counsel from the kingdom of darkness. She sat with a psychic, a medium who traffics in familiar spirits, and she engaged in a transaction to block your success, to sabotage this very moment of transfer. She knows through demonic revelation what is poised to be released unto you, and she has actively enlisted dark forces to intercept it. This, my child, is the sobering message from Archangel Michael. The battle is not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places that is acutely aware of your financial destiny. The heavens have moved, the gate is open, the scroll is prepared, and the winds of favor are circling. The 55 million is sealed and protected, but the enemy has set a snare at the very threshold of your blessing. Your role now is to stand in faith, to reject every whisper of fear and doubt, to break every word curse spoken against you by the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony, and to step into this moment with radical obedience to any instruction I whisper your spirit. This is not a time for casual belief. It is a time for militant faith. The wealth is yours, but you must possess the land. You must guard this word in your heart and act upon it with certainty. The heavens are silent no more. They are roaring with purpose over your life. Align your spirit with this divine reality and step into the fullness of what has been written for you since the foundation of the world. The urgency you feel stirring within your spirit is not anxiety. It is the divine resonance of your destiny calling out to you, a sacred echo of the prophecy that is now unfolding in the celestial realms. This is why every fiber of your being is taut with anticipation, for your spirit recognizes a truth that your mind has yet to fully grasp. The clock ticking toward the appointed hour is not merely a measure of earthly time. It is a countdown to a spiritual convergence of epic proportions. Every second that passes brings you closer to the moment where the eternal invades the temporal, where the infinite resources of heaven are funneled into your finite reality for a purpose that far exceeds your personal comfort. This wealth is a weapon in your hand, a tool for kingdom advancement, and a testimony that will echo through eternity, silencing the accusers and confounding the wise of this world. It is the physical manifestation of a spiritual victory that was won on Calvary, now being delivered to your doorstep. You must understand that this transfer is not a solitary event, but the culmination of a series of divine interventions that have been meticulously orchestrated across your lifetime. Every setback, every closed door, every tear cried in the darkness was not a sign of my absence, but a necessary preparation of the vessel, which is you, to be able to contain and steward such an overwhelming flood of resources without being destroyed by it. I have been strengthening your character, testing your integrity, and expanding your capacity to handle influence without corruption. The enemy sought to use those trials to break you, but I have used them to forge you into a vessel of honor, fit for the master's use. The same pressures that were meant to crush you have instead crystallized your faith, making it a diamond of immense value and strength, capable of cutting through the toughest strongholds of darkness. This financial breakthrough is, in truth, the release of the pressure, the long-awaited evidence of the work I have been doing in secret within you. The woman who consorted with the psychic, the individuals who fasted against you, they are not your true enemies. They are merely pawns, instruments of a darker intelligence that understands the principle of seed time and harvest better than many of my own children. They know that your life has been a field of obedience, sown with seeds of faithfulness, sacrifice, and unwavering trust in me, even when you could not see the way forward. They know the harvest time is now, and they are desperate to swoop in and steal the yield of a lifetime of your spiritual labor. Their actions have not gone unnoticed in heaven. Archangel Michael himself has presented their petitions before the throne not as righteous prayers, but as evidence of their rebellion. Their fasts have ascended not as a sweet fragrance, but as a stench of witchcraft, and their verdict has been issued. Their own words and rituals have been turned back upon them, and the curses they intended for you are now boomeranging to their own doors, sevenfold. This is why your obedience at this precise hour is non-negotiable. The instruction I will give you may seem small. It may be a nudge to make a phone call you've been putting off, to forgive a specific person whose name comes to mind, to sow a specific seed into a specific ministry, to delete a contact from your phone, or to simply sit in silence and worship. It may not seem logically connected to a sum of $55 million, but in the spirit realm, it is the final keystone that completes the arch of your deliverance. It is the act of faith that connects the wiring of heaven's promise to the receptacle of your reality. Disobedience, even in a seemingly small thing, is not a minor misstep. It is a deliberate choice to step outside the circle of protection that the heavenly hosts have formed around you in this promise. It is like unplugging a powerful machine seconds before it completes its crucial cycle. The wealth, seeking a vessel of faith and obedience, would have to divert to another who is positioned and willing to receive it. Perhaps someone you have prayed for, someone whose destiny is linked to yours, but it would bypass you in this season. But I have faith in you, my child. I have seen the end from the beginning, and I have seen you choosing rightly. The anxiety you feel is simply the birth pang of a new dimension of your destiny. Breathe. Trust. Listen. The instructions I give will not be shouted. They will be whispered. They will resonate with a deep, inexplicable peace in your inner man, even if your rational mind argues against them. This is the peace that passes all understanding, and it will be your guidepost. Do not consult with flesh and blood in this hour. Do not run to friends or family seeking their rational opinion on a matter they cannot spiritually discern. This is between you and me. This is a covenant moment. The enemy will also send counterfeits, voices of confusion, tempting offers that seem good but are designed to lead you slightly off course. Test every spirit. Does it align with my written word? Does it promote love, righteousness, and kingdom advancement? Or does it feed fear, greed, or selfish ambition? My voice will always lead you deeper into truth and life. As the clock moves, so does the angelic activity around you. Where there was one angel, there are now legions. They have been assigned to guard this transaction, to clear the spiritual airways of interference, and to ensure the safe passage of your blessing. They stand with swords drawn, not against you, but forming a perimeter against the forces of darkness that are massing in a final, desperate attempt to cause you to stumble. The sound you cannot hear with your natural ears is the sound of their worship and the clash of spiritual warfare happening in the atmosphere over your home, over your city. You are not fighting for victory. You are fighting from a place of victory that has already been secured by Christ. Your role is to stand firm in faith, to proclaim the truth of my promise, and to execute the simple obedience I ask of you. When the transfer occurs, it may not be accompanied by a clap of thunder or a flash of lightning, though the spiritual sound of it is shaking the foundations of hell. In the natural, it may manifest a sudden idea, an unexpected phone call, a legal notification, a debt canceled, an investment maturing in an inexplicable way, or a series of seemingly coincidental events that converge to open a floodgate of provision. You will know it by the profound sense of divine rightness, the overwhelming awe of my precision, and the deep humility that comes from knowing you did nothing to earn it, but simply received it by grace through faith. This moment is not the end. It is the beginning of a new and weighty responsibility. The resources are mine, and you are my steward. But fear not, for as I have provided the wealth, I will also provide the wisdom to manage it for eternal impact. This night is etched in eternity. Your name is written. The hosts of heaven are at attention. Listen, my beloved child. Listen and obey. Your moment has come. The intensity of this hour is not a burden you must bear alone, for the cloud of witnesses, the great heroes of faith who have run this race before you, are leaning over the balconies of heaven, their voices joining in a thunderous silence that cheers you on towards your divine moment. They understand the weight of destiny, the crushing pressure of transition, and the glorious triumph that awaits on the other side of obedience. Your name is being discussed in that great hall not as a subject of pity, but as a case study in faithfulness, a testament to the covenant that I honor above all things. Abraham nods in understanding, knowing what it is to believe for a promise that defies natural law. Isaac recognizes the feeling of being offered up, only to be replaced by a ram of provision. Jacob knows the struggle of wrestling with God through the night, refusing to let go until the blessing is received. You are in hallowed company, my child, and your struggle is part of a legacy that stretches back to the foundation of the world. Do not mistake the silence from heaven in your past as indifference. It was the silence of a master craftsman fully absorbed in the intricate work of shaping a masterpiece. Every chisel strike, every moment of pressure, every seeming delay was a calculated action to remove the excess, to smooth the rough edges, and to reveal the glorious image hidden within the marble of your life. The enemy's attacks were not a sign of your defeat. They were an unintentional contribution to your preparation, for I am the God who uses the very weapons formed against you to instead forge your strength. The envy of others has only served to polish your character. Their opposition has only strengthened your spiritual resolve, and their whispered curses have, by the alchemy of my grace, been transformed into unintended blessings that now cling to your destiny. The woman who sought the psychic did not derail my plan. She inadvertently accelerated it, for her actions triggered a higher level of angelic engagement and a more potent release of my judicial authority on your behalf. This divine transfer of $55 million is far more than a financial transaction. It is a spiritual landmark, a reset point for your entire bloodline. It is the breaking of a generational curse of lack and the establishment of a new covenant of abundance that will flow to your children and your children's children. This is why the opposition is so fierce. The enemy is not merely fighting against you. He is fighting against the generations of reformers, innovators, and gospel pioneers who will spring from your loins, empowered by this breakthrough. He is seeking to stop a dynasty of righteousness before it can be birthed. This wealth is the seed capital for a spiritual revolution that will be funded from your household. It will build orphanages, fund missions, launch godly businesses that create jobs and influence culture, and support the arts for my glory. This is not your money, it is my money, and I am entrusting it to the most reliable and trustworthy vessel I could find for this specific purpose, you. The enemy's primary weapon at this hour is not a direct attack, it is distraction. He will seek to pull your focus from the spiritual reality onto the natural circumstances. He will send thoughts of doubt, reminding you of past failures or current bills. He will use well-meaning but spiritually blind individuals to speak words of caution and practicality, attempting to drown out the still, small voice of my spirit. He will try to incite fear by causing you to look at the sheer impossibility of the number. $55 million is impossible for man, but it is a trivial amount for the God who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills and the wealth in every mine. Your faith is not in the number, but in the one who spoke the number. Your confidence is not in your ability to earn it, but in my ability to deliver it. Your focus must remain on the promise, not on the problems. As the moment approaches, I am activating a new level of spiritual discernment within you. You will begin to see with the eyes of your spirit. You will perceive the angelic activity around you. You may feel a sudden chill or a wave of heat. This is the tangible evidence of the spiritual shift occurring in your atmosphere. You may hear a high-pitched frequency or a deep, resonant hum. This is the sound of the heavenly portals aligning over your life. Do not fear these sensations. Welcome them. They are the confirmation that you are in alignment with the divine timetable. Worship is your greatest weapon in this moment. As you lift your voice in praise, you are not ignoring the battle, you are engaging in the highest form of warfare. Your worship creates a throne room atmosphere in your dwelling, a space where I inhabit the praises of my people and where no darkness can remain. The specific instructions I will give you will be the key that unlocks the physical manifestation. They will be clear, unequivocal, and will require immediate action. There will be no room for hesitation. This is a test of your heart. Will you trust me enough to obey instantly, even when the instruction seems illogical? This immediate obedience is the final act of faith that completes the circuit between the promise and the provision. It is your signature on the heavenly contract, your agreement with the divine terms. When you obey, you are not earning the blessing. You are simply positioning yourself under the spout where the blessing is already pouring out. The wealth is already yours in the spirit. Your obedience brings it into the natural realm. After the transfer manifests, your life will never be the same. You will enter a season of intense stewardship and learning. I will guide you in the management of this resource, teaching you how to sow and reap in ever-increasing cycles of blessing. There will be new enemies, new challenges, and new levels of spiritual warfare, but you will also operate in a new level of authority and angelic protection. The same faith that you are using to receive this breakthrough will be the same faith you use to build a lasting legacy for my kingdom. This is not an end, it is a glorious beginning. The heavens have paused for you. The angels are awaiting your response. The scroll is waiting to be read aloud in the courts of earth. Listen, my child. Your destiny is calling. The clock is ticking. This is your moment.
Seize it with faith and with courage.
And so, as the final grains of sand fall through the hourglass of this divine appointment, a profound and holy stillness descends upon you, a peace that is not the absence of spiritual conflict, but the profound assurance of its conclusion in your favor. The fervent activity of heaven does not cease, but it reaches a crescendo of completion, a symphony of prophetic fulfillment, where every note, every instrument, every heavenly host is perfectly aligned with the conductor's baton of my will. The moment you have been prepared for across a lifetime of seasons, both lean and abundant, is now upon you. The obedience I whispered into your spirit, that seemingly small and illogical step of faith, was indeed the final, crucial act that sealed everything. It was the key turning in the lock, the password spoken into the void that activated the entire system of your deliverance. By choosing to trust me in that instant, you stepped fully into the circle of protection. You closed the door behind you on the enemy's schemes, and you positioned your spirit as the rightful receiver of a flood of blessing that can no longer be contained. At the appointed hour, a sound is heard in the spirit realm that is more magnificent than any thunderclap, and more delicate than the finest crystal chiming. It is the sound of your name being confirmed, of the seal being set upon the scroll, of the divine decree being ratified for all of eternity. It is a legal sound, a triumphant sound, the sound of chains shattering and prison gates swinging open on hinges long rusted shut. The heavenly gate is now not merely open, it is dissolved, for the separation between the promise and the manifestation has been utterly erased by your faith. The $55 million, which was always a spiritual reality, now begins its inevitable journey into your physical reality. It moves with the unstoppable force of a tidal wave and the precise navigation of a divinely guided missile, bypassing every obstacle, circumventing every trap, and flowing through pathways prepared for it since the beginning of time. It is seeking you, its rightful steward, and it will find you. This is not a lottery win. It is a kingdom transfer. It will not arrive with the fanfare of the world, but with the unmistakable fingerprint of heaven. It will come through channels that will leave no doubt in your mind or in the minds of those who witness it that this is my hand and my hand alone. It will be so clearly supernatural that your testimony will become a weapon of mass inspiration, dismantling the doubts of millions and ushering in a season of faith for all who hear it. The woman who sought to block you, the enemies who fasted against you, will be awestruck and confounded. Their plans will unravel before their eyes, and their own resources will seem to vanish like mist, for what they intended for evil has been used for your ultimate good and my ultimate glory. They will see the blessing upon your life and will have no choice but to acknowledge that I am God and that I am with you. The weight of this moment is not intended to crush you, but to crown you. You are stepping into a new identity, not merely as a person of wealth, but as a person of profound spiritual authority and influence. The financial resource is simply the tool, the tangible evidence of a spiritual promotion that has already occurred. The anxiety you felt is now transforming into a holy reverence, a keen awareness of the sacred trust being placed upon your shoulders. And I will be with you every step of the way. I will send you mentors in the spirit and in the natural. I will give you wisdom that seems beyond your years. I will open your eyes to see opportunities that are invisible to others and give you the discernment to navigate the complexities of this new realm with grace and integrity. The story does not end with the receipt of the wealth. That is where your true story begins. This breakthrough is the foundation upon which a legacy of righteousness will be built. It will fund healing for the sick, freedom for the captive, and hope for the hopeless. The generations that follow you will speak of this night, not for the number, but for the obedience that unlocked it. They will live in the overflow of your faithfulness. You have been faithful with little. Now I will make you ruler over much. Enter into the joy of your Lord. The struggle is over. The waiting has ended. The promise is now your reality. Look up, my beloved child. The dawn of your new day has finally arrived. It is finished. It is done. Welcome into your inheritance. If this message spoke to your soul and awakened something deep within, like the video, share it with someone silently searching for a sign, and subscribe, because this is just the beginning of something greater than you can imagine.